Hello, and welcome to the fourth Electoral Insights presentation from the CABC. Diving straight in, from the 1st to the 17th of March 2024, we recorded 381,000 mentions in our snapshot of the electoral conversation. This was predominantly made up of retweets. Over a similar 17-day period the month prior, total mentions, retweets, and unique authors present within the conversation have declined between 16 and 19%. This period held no discernible peaks of activity, but rather mention volume held steady throughout. This is not necessarily a negative. It may reflect that various high-profile incidents or topics of discussion were present more often, rather than in high-profile or high-volume chunks of public attention and conversation. In terms of the top hashtags, those related to calls to vote for the MK, EFF, and ANC remain dominant, with a variety of other parties filling out the background. Halfway through our reporting period, conversation centered on a letter sent by the Democratic Alliance and supported by constituent parties of the Multi-Party Charter, which sought financial and resource support from Western governments in monitoring the 2024 general election. Ostensibly, this was due to concerns from the parties involved as to the integrity of the election and any potential for post-electoral violence. We noted commentary on both ends of the spectrum, with some likening the move to a protective and common measure of election monitoring, while others saw the call as divorced from the historical reality of successful, free and fair elections supported by observers within the country since the dawn of democracy. This was a sentiment notably shared by Minister Naledi Pandor, who noted the letter as surprising and demeaning in relation to progress in South Africa's democracy. Moving towards instances of mis and disinformation, as you can see on the right-hand side of the slide, continued attacks on journalists, particularly female journalists, and against the Daily Maverick were noted. From the same account, which has previously attacked the Daily Maverick as a CIA operation in our third Electoral Insights presentation. Furthermore, the account posted the tweet on the upmost left side of the slide, sharing pictures of a UN aid truck and likening its presence to preparation for a civil war within the country. This account, at Gentleman's, is particularly concerned with the MK party and an anti-Western stance. Other incidents related to MK-aligned accounts can be seen on the bottom left, where an account subscribed to Twitter Blue began to share a narrative related to electoral fraud on the basis of the siphoning of votes toward the ANC away from other parties, of which the account purports that Metro Police and municipal functions within ANC-run local governments would seek to action vote manipulation. We were reassured by the IEC's response to the post, which set out the facts and stringent procedures related to ballot transport and vote tallying, dispelling the mis and disinformation spread by the account. I'll now hand over to my colleague, Molebogeng, who will take you through a few more of our findings and close out the presentation with a few recommendations.
We also detected narrative manipulation targeted towards EFF leader Julius Malema after a speech he made at the party's Northwest Manifesto launch this month. In his speech, Malema said that he was not desperate to become president of South Africa, but rather desperate to unite the African continent. He further added that if the unity of his people was going to cost him votes, then, and I quote, "You can keep your votes. I don't want xenophobic votes. I don't want the votes of haters." Now, some accounts deliberately misinterpreted this in their posts, alleging that Malema did not want South Africans to vote for him. This was one of the many incidents where proponents of the anti-immigrant narrative criticized the EFF based on its pan-African stance. Previous examples have been noted in the CABC's Xenophobia Project reporting. Political alignment became an area of concern during this period. This was in relation to the online conversation about Nomareli, a nickname given to a young South African who over the past few months has attended a variety of manifesto launches from the ANC, MK Party, the EFF, as well as the IFP. We note that while the discourse around Nomareli is humorous, it does reflect the lived realities of South Africa's youth and raises questions about political participation. This presents an opportunity for further research into manifesto attendance and political alignment, which forms part of our recommendations as highlighted on your screen. Secondly, We'd like to remind parties that they can deploy representatives to monitor the election process. Civil society campaigns aimed at getting the public involved in election monitoring need to be amplified. These include Defender Democracy's Election Watch campaign, Groundwork Collective's Election Monitoring Project, as well as Future Elect's civics education platform. And finally, we continue to stress the importance of monitoring mis and disinformation in relation to the elections. Posts containing mis and disinformation should be archived when detected, as they pose a threat, even in the post-election period. Thank you.